Trevor Lawrence was QB8 last season, 387 completions, 584 attempts, 66.3% completion percentage, 4,113 yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 62 rush attempts, 291 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Thoughts on Trevor Lawrence?
I think this guy is a quarterback on the rise. I think Trevor Lawrence will finish inside of QB1 territory again. I like his ability to scramble. He doesn't necessarily run, but he does scramble well. He moves well. And I expect his passing efficiencies to continue to improve. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw him in the neighborhood of 29, 30, 31 touchdowns. I think somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,300 yards. So that'll be up a tick as well. And really being able to kind of take this offense to the next level as the Jags should clearly be the front runner for the AFC South. But now this is going to be a little bit different for this team, right? How do you play front runner as opposed to trying to play the underdog role? So they're going to have probably some more growing pains just because it's a little bit different than what most of this roster has experienced before. But I do believe in Doug Peterson and his teachings for this team. So I like Trevor Lawrence. I like what I saw out of him the tail end of last season. Everything kind of started to click and slow down for him. At least that's how it looked to me. And I think we continue to see that. So I'm expecting a very good year from Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I think you'd have to be very encouraged. I mean, this was a team that was 4-8 at the start of December last year, right? And then they rattled off 5 wins, got into the playoffs, snuck out a win against the Chargers in that first round. So like they clearly they figured something out last year, largely remaining intact in terms of, skill players coming back with the addition of Calvin Ridley. So clearly Trevor Lawrence, like something clicked with them. And so you're encouraged by what you saw. And if that's the Trevor Lawrence that you get over the course of a season, then yeah, you'd have to think that he would be in that conversation of, outside of those top three guys that, and even, he might be able to be knocking on that door sooner rather than later to get into that conversation of those top 3 guys, top 4 guys.
So I think you're right. I think we do see him take a step forward in both touchdowns. I think we see him probably break the 30 touchdown mark from throwing the football. I think we probably see him up there between probably 43 and 4,500 yards when it's all said and done. I don't know that we necessarily see that 5 touchdown mark, but it wouldn't surprise me to see that drop down to 2 or 3 tutties this season on the ground versus the 5 but him picking that up through the air a little bit. So I think where you're drafting him as QB8, you're kind of drafting him at where his floor is going to be. And I think that the ceiling could be all the way up there in that QB. He could get all the way up into that QB4, QB5, QB, even 3 range. Like all of these things can shake out a little different, little weird there to the point where it wouldn't surprise me to see him be able to challenge that this season and make some things happen there.